With the production of more than 300 units of the SALPA 20, the Neapolitan shipyard SALPA has become one of the reference points in the market of medium-sized inflatable boats. However, the SALPA 20 is not an entry level, which means that the SALPA range lacked a boat for everyone, especially for those without a license. What was missing was an easy-to-drive, fun and well-made inflatable, basically the SALPA 18. Today I'm here in Genoa, in the region of Liguria, to test it. Welcome to the Boat Show. Let's get to know this boat better. Overall length of 6 meters, maximum beam of 2.48 meters or 2.21 meters with deflated tubulars. The buoyancy reserve is divided into 4 compartments. It carries 90 litres of fuel and can host 8 people if the registration category is C. At the stern, the 2 large swimming platforms, which are integrated in the mould, exceed the depth of the engine, making it easier to get on or off the quay if you are moored at the stern. On the left, the telescopic swim ladder has 4 steps with 2 stainless steel handrails. To enter the cockpit, we have to step on the cushions because the stern seat is full beam. The reclining backrest and the expandable seat, together with the fiberglass cushion saddles, make this a very wide area for a 6-meter inflatable. Keep in mind that the mechanism that allows all this may not be as safe during navigation, so when the engines are roaring, it's best to close everything up. In the pilot seating, there is the folding table on the aft living area. As I mentioned, this is the entry level of SALPA SOLEIL range, but the attention with which the shipyard has taken care of every detail on this boat is second to none other model of the same shipyard. The pilot seat module allows a semi-seated conduction with a hint of a footrest in the lower part of the formwork and the possibility of storage even under the cushions. Both the formwork and the seat module are off-centre of the starboard side, and with their thin and flared shape they grant a lot of space for movement on board. A detail that almost resembles the windshield of a scooter is the shape of the plexiglass on the formwork. Below the floor level there's the possibility of a fixed fuel tank. At the bow there's another very large modular sun deck with movable planks that join the cushions of the forward-facing seat on the formwork. Under both sun pads there is plenty of space for storage. These large forward spaces, even on an 18-footer, are possible thanks to the fiberglass bow inside, with which there is the anchor locker already prepared for the electric winch. From the pilot's seat, you can really enjoy this boat. Why? Because their family line is made of a reverse shear line that drives into the sea towards the bow. This naturally gives more aggressiveness to the deck lines, but above all, it allows us to see all the way to the bow. And although on an 18-footer we would see it anyway, it's a great thing.
The
hull of the new SALPA SOLEIL 18, like the SALPA hulls, is monostep. This helps in the pre-planing phase not to raise the bow too much and then during the course to find the best setup, the optimal incidence on the water. The lamination of the hull was done by hand. It's a light boat, but not excessively so. However, this affects the navigability of the boat a lot, certainly because the weight helps to hit the waves in a different way, in a better way, to cut through it and therefore not to slam excessively, not to bounce off as if it were a rock. And as in the whole SOLEIL range, the stem post is vertical. This is for the research of the maximum waterline length, which is certainly important on bigger boats, but on such small boats, it's extremely important as well. Every centimetre makes the difference. The maximum power available on the SALPA SOLEIL 18 is 115 horsepower. However, the concept of this boat is that of an entry level, an inflatable suited for everyone, and therefore in the Italian market also for those without a license. Today on the transom there are 40 horsepower by Yamaha. That will make us enjoy navigating with this boat by SALPA. Now I'm decreasing the speed a little to really test the plane output. Let's see if the tip rises or not. We're in the displacement phase. I'll give it some gas. 5.5 knots and we are in the ploughing mode. Did you see that? The boat holds the same impact on the water. But now is the time to give it some gas. Why? Because if it's true that this is an entry-level boat, and if it's true that this boat is made for everyone, then it must be able to allow any type of manoeuvre, even the most reckless ones made by the less experienced boaters, such as reaching the cruising speed of around 20 knots, 4,800 RPM, 16.4 litres consumed per hour, and, let's see, maybe do an extreme veer. The trim is all down and the propellers don't cavitate. The stability that the tubular gives this boat is a guarantee for anyone who helms this inflatable. I know this was just the cruising speed, but what if we wanted to push a little more? What if by pushing a little harder we wanted to do some unusual manoeuvres, such as this one? Or by going full throttle. Or this one. Or a nice zigzag. I really want to test this boat. Let's see if it allows us to do anything we can think of. Always remember to fasten the kill cord to the pilot and keep a hand on the throttle. Safety comes first. Those who go out to sea with an inflatable boat also want maximum adrenaline. So let's really go full gas and see what this new SALPA product can do. With this motorization, the shipyard claims to be able to reach 24 knots. So today, as always, I have two main goals. The first one is to reach them, and the second one is to pass them. Full throttle. We're at 6,000 RPM and we're consuming 22.2 litres per hour. Our speed is 24.2 knots. The first goal has been achieved, so now I want to top it. I work a little with the trim. Today in Genoa the sea is flat, there are just a few long waves which will allow us to see the real top speed of this boat. I'll raise the trim a little. The engine is starting to roar, the inflatable is really light on the water and it comes off the water. We're at 6,400 RPM, fuel consumption of 23.3 litres per hour, and we reached 26.6 knots. Even with a 40 horsepower engine, we can still have fun on this new inflatable boat by SALPA.